Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Final quarter on this Thursday morning of June 18th. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your start for the first 3 hours. Hopefully we can keep you around for the final hour here. We're getting set for Brewers versus Guardians, 1:10 first pitch. Coverage will begin at about 12:35 today, so a little over 3 hours. You can tune into that game on your radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. So, Knicks, as you mentioned, Knicks parade is going. Hey, it's 2026 and we're still doing parades, so we're doing something right, I guess. A little old school there, but we're still doing parades, championship parades and that. Would you ever go to a parade, championship parade, mess with that ordeal? I went to Return to Titletown, and it wasn't a parade. It was inside Lambeau Field, but that was a mess, I will say. It was a complete mess. That was probably one of the worst, if not the worst, times I've tried to get out of Lambeau Field.
Really?
Of all the games I've gone to, that one was the worst. I don't know. I'm not a parade person. I don't know if I could stand and watch a parade. I don't know.
Well, especially because you're not like getting to meet them; they're just driving by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Are you a parade guy? I don't know if I'm a parade guy.
Not really.
I don't know. I've been in a parade. 4th grade Halloween costume. Our class had to ride the Halloween parade float, so that was about it. That's the only time I've been in a parade, I think. But yeah, I wanted to do our own Bucks parade when they won the championship, but didn't come to fruition. Tried to get our friend Philly fan Dave to help out, but he wasn't. I think it kind of just fell through the cracks. So, hey, if the Brewers, how about this? If the Brewers win the World Series, we will do a parade, our own 715 parade.
There you go.
We'll rep the area for the Brewers. We'll make it all a long one. We'll just have to get a bunch of vehicles involved and might have to talk to the proper authority so we don't get in trouble with blaring horns and stuff like that. But yeah, that we'll do that.
There you go.
We'll do that. We'll do our own parade or a lot of people might just go down to Milwaukee for that parade.
Yeah, but ours would be cooler.
It would be.
Yeah.
It'd be for the parade for us who can't go down to Milwaukee. Or don't want to go all the way down to Milwaukee for a parade, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this popped up too. I think this was the other day too, but the Bucks are reportedly looking to move Kyle Kuzma at a potential Giannis trade per Jake Fisher. If Milwaukee starts over, Kuzma could be one of the next dominoes to fall. I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I don't know how that's possible. They'll figure it out. What's with the Bucks continuing to navigate? Yeah. A Bucks contingent, John Horst, Taylor Jenkins, and others visited. Nate's been mentioned, I think, since the beginning. Nate Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially if you draft a 6'10" wing, that almost seems like the Giannis era is done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, that seems to be the replacement. So. Brewers-wise, so Brewers looking for the sweep after last night's victory against the Guardians. Shane Drone's going to be on the mound. Today's been like trade talk day. We've talked Bucks and potential Brewers trades and that. Tariq is the guy that everybody's kind of targeting and such, but okay, is the biggest need another bat, or is the biggest need more pitching depth? Biggest need in terms of making a deep run in the postseason?
In my opinion, it's pitching. I think that your offense will always be there. I know they struggled last year in the postseason with offense, but their pitching wasn't stellar in the postseason, and right now you only really have 2 legitimate starters with all your injuries, so I think if they were able to acquire a veteran starter who could be that 3 and start in a playoff game and make an impact, I think that's more important than a bat.
So if we look at the 4 games that they got swept by the Dodgers, game 1 was a 2-1 game. Dodgers won. Game 2, 5-1. Game 3, 3-1. Game 4, 5-1. Let's kind of go through it. So game 1, your starting pitcher for the Brewers in that one was, they did the whole Aaron Ashby, then Quinn Priester. So that was game 1. And Brewers didn't score. Brewers only got 2 hits, and it was 0-0 heading into the 6th until the Dodgers put up 1, and then the Brewers put up 1 in the bottom of the 9th. So that was game 1. Chad Patrick also came in and pitched out of the pen too. Game 2, if we're just kind of using this series as the barometer, because I think that's where everybody's kind of using this series as the barometer, right? So game 2, Dodgers jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Brewers jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Freddie Peralta was the starting pitcher. Dodgers came back, put up 2. Took the lead and never looked back. They added insurance runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Dodgers had 11 total hits in that one. Brewers just 3 hits. Everybody said, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this before I finish. So everybody says pitching wasn't the problem for the Brewers in that series. It was the hitting. But was the reason that the hitting was the problem for the Brewers was because of the Dodgers pitching? Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, again, going back to game 1, who did the Dodgers throw out there? Blake Snell. Not a bad pitcher. Remember, a lot of those guys, too, were hurt for the most part, and they came in the playoffs fresh for the Dodgers. It was like they got a bunch of newbies. Game 2 for the Dodgers. Who was their starting pitcher? Yamamoto.
I believe he went all 9, too, right?
I believe he did, too. He did. Yeah. Game 3. Who was the starting pitcher for the Dodgers? It was Tyler Glasnow. And then game 4 for the Dodgers, Shohei. So was it a Brewers offensive problem, or was it a Dodgers had really good starters problem too? Sure, it was probably a little bit of both, but everybody points to, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but everybody points to the offense being the Brewers' problem. But shouldn't you give the Dodgers some credit too, because they had some really good pitchers? And I'm sorry, but you look at the Brewers starters. So first game we said it was Ashby, then it was Quinn Priester. Quinn Priester ain't pitching in the playoffs this year. No offense to Quinn Priester, he had a good year last year, but he's not pitching this year. Freddie Peralta is not pitching for the Brewers in the postseason this year. 5-inning Freddie. That's not happening.
4 and 2/3 inning Freddie in the playoffs.
Yep. Again, Aaron Ashby started game 3, and then Mizorowski came in after that. And then game 4, Jose Quintana. I feel the Brewers pitching is already better.
Yeah. With
Miz, Harrison, assuming Brandon Woodruff's going to be a part of that. And then, Logan Henderson, mixture of, or maybe somebody else that they don't have right now. So was that postseason? Yeah, the offense didn't do a whole lot for the Brewers, but was that because of the talent on the offense or lack thereof, or the Dodgers pitching?
Both. I think
it is both. But
I think a little bit of both.
But I guess, are we making too much of a deal about what the offense did?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. And just looking at their roster, I think this year's different because right now, obviously it's June, but most of the players, right, like Andrew Vaughn played really well last year, but he's hitting better this year. Not for power, but he's hitting better. Jackson Churrio's hitting for power this year. Terang's just keeps getting better.
Contreras is healthier and better this year.
You've got an incredibly hot Jake Bauers. Mm-hmm. A new shortstop. Hopefully Pratt plays well. I mean, the roster this year looks better than last year, and the pitching looks better than last year as well. So you already seem like you stand a chance, but then the Dodgers also added players this offseason. So I still think the biggest need is pitching. But I guess they didn't hit well last postseason.
So looking at this too, if we're looking at the roster, Garrett Mitchell is also a part of this too, because Garrett Mitchell was not playing last year. Mm-hmm. And remember, it was kind of a combination of Sal was in center or right field, but Sal was a fixture, but it was Blake Perkins or Isaac Collins. And I will take Garrett Mitchell, even though he can be a little streaky, over a combination of Isaac Collins and Blake Perkins from an offensive standpoint. So I would take that. I think they've upgraded at catcher just because Contreras is healthy. I think that was clearly evident last year. That finger injury was a big factor. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Vaughn. Yeah, he's not hitting as much for power, but his average is up, and you kind of have a nice tandem, I think, with him and Bowers, if Bowers can continue this. I guess what we're asking is this a better roster right now than what that team had heading into that Dodgers series?
Yeah, I mean, again,
is Cooper Pratt better than Joey Ortiz already?
Hopefully. I mean, he had 2-hit games, so yeah. But I almost look at it just like in terms of pitching.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have Jacob Mizorowski likely throw game 1 and set the tone for you. And
if it works starting wise,
yes, yep. And he pitches his best in
big moments.
Yes, in big games. He gets jacked up for it. He's going to throw 106 in a big game probably, but I mean, I think the pitching staff is better. I think the offense is better too. It's very comparable to last year, but a lot of baseball, right? The cliche is you got to stay healthy and get hot. The Brewers just were cold in that series.
Mm-hmm.
And this year is just going to be about getting hot and staying healthy.
I think that's you hit on two of them, getting hot, staying healthy. Dodgers got healthy right at the right moment. The other part in it I do want to throw in there too is how much did just beating the Cubs kind of like not exhaust them, but maybe a little bit, but from a mentality standpoint. You know, you're going up against your division rival. It's Craig Counsell. It went the full 5. That was like, okay, you can take a deep breath. Well, no, you can't really because you got the Dodgers waiting in the wings. It happens. We see it in every sport when it comes to that. I don't know if that was part of it, but I get it. The offense was not good against the Dodgers. But I guess the question is, okay, you put one bat in that offense. Does it make the difference? I don't know if it does. Yeah. I don't know if it does. Okay, you put Suarez, let's say Suarez from last year, who was the big name. Does that change it? I don't think it does.
Nope.
So, yeah.
And I think this year also, like last year, as a fan, I kind of felt like beat the Cubs. That's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
This year, this whole team, and as a fan, it's like this is the year to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
The second round's not good enough. You have to compete with the Dodgers this year, especially because with the labor negotiations and everything that's going to go on next year, everything's going to change. So this is your year to compete with the Dodgers, and I think the Brewers can feel that too, and they have a little bit of an edge.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at, I think they're better at pitchers right now. Because then, okay, 4-game series, 7-game series, whatever. Yeah, 7-game series. You're not going to have 5 starters. You're probably going to have 4. So assuming everybody's healthy, it's Miz, it's Harrison, it's probably Brandon Woodruff, and then Logan Harrison if they don't acquire somebody.
Yeah.
If they acquire somebody, then maybe Logan Harrison's a bullpen guy or whatever. But then that means Shane Drone's back to the bullpen. Brandon Sproat's coming out of the bullpen where you don't have to worry about him going more than maybe 2 turns through a rotation. Chad Patrick's still in the bullpen. Uribe, McGill, Jared Koenig, hopefully he's back and healthy. I mean, it's that trickle-down effect when you have a shorter rotation and then all those other guys. Ashby I didn't even mention.
Yep.
DL Hall might be back at that point too. So what's the biggest weakness? I mean, is the biggest weakness still third base? Probably. Until we see what Cooper Pratt does.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that weakness is fixed with Jet Williams' call-up.
That'd be cool.
I honestly feel like that's going to be the move instead of trading for a temporary third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think at that point it is going to be the end of Joey Ortiz.
Yeah.
Because David Hamilton, at least, if they're picking between Hamilton or Ortiz to keep on their bench, I think it's David Hamilton because of his bunting and stealing. Yes, you're going to lose some defense with Ortiz, but to have David Hamilton as your primary backup infielder and the flex he could play second too.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be I think you keep Hamilton over Ortiz.
He does a lot for this team that just goes under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday he put down a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah.
He just will do that and I think he does a lot, so.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to see Jet Williams actually fairly soon.
Do you?
Yeah, I think maybe after All-Star break.
Okay.
Maybe after the All-Star break. Brewers have done this before with third baseman too, like late in the season.
Like, do you think you're thinking before September call-ups then, right?
Mm-hmm. I hope, because I want him some major league at-bats and experience before postseason, just to get a little bit of that experience. Is that the biggest weakness right now on the team?
I think so.
I think it is.
Either that or, to be honest, late inning relief. I think it's one of those two.
And I feel like they're going to, if I were to power rank them in terms of confidence of what they're going to add, I feel like it's going to be bullpen pitcher that they're for sure going to add.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the guy.
Every year, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just don't know about starters because of the guys that they've got that they can throw out there. We didn't even mention Coleman Crowe, who's on the injured list, and that could be a bullpen option too in the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it.
And it's hard because for me, like, we're talking all about these young players. But it would be nice just to have a guy like a Joe Ryan who's consistent.
Yep.
That's a veteran that you know will get the job done, rather than seeing Brandon Sproat come in and being worried either he's going to give up 5 runs in 2 innings or he's going to shut him out for 6.
I would rather have Joe Ryan than starting a playoff game for me than Brandon Sproat, than Shane Drowan.
Robert Gasser.
Honestly, maybe even Logan Henderson too.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can get my 4 of Woodruff, Joe Ryan, Miz, and Harrison,
sign me up.
I'd be feeling pretty good. Mm-hmm. And that's not a knock on Logan Henderson.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like he could be that bullpen and long relief type of guy too.
Yep.
You still keep him on the roster for a postseason.
Mm-hmm.
But they can make the moves. They
can.
definitely can. I just don't know if they're going to. They'll make a move, I feel. Let's talk more baseball, though. We'll take a quick break and be back after these few words. So, intern Carter, you saw something about Trae Young, right? For anybody hoping that would he go to the Bucks?
Yep, Trae Young opted out of his contract and is likely to sign a 3-year contract with the Wizards. So going back to the Wizards. So probably why opt out, then go back? Well, longer term deal and probably got a little bit more money on top of that too. So that's where that's at. So you can maybe close the door on that idea. So, but we got, by all accounts now, we got more summer to be talking about a potential Giannis trade. We all wanted more of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but Brewers wise, we'll be talking about trades for the Brewers here too. Here's the thing, I know some people are, like at trade deadline's not till August and the Brewers and such. I'd rather be having these discussions because it means your team's doing better. It's completely different than the Bucks right now, where they're like selling some teams and that. How much should chemistry matter though when it comes to the Brewers? When it comes to trading players,
but you don't want to do Josh Hader. You can't do that again.
Who would be the version of Josh Hader?
Woody, Yelich.
Those are big names. Yeah, that would surprise,
especially Woody. I think Brandon Woodruff's the kind of veteran leader that this team needs.
Yep. It wouldn't be Turanga. It wouldn't be Contreras.
Mm-mm. Well, Contreras maybe just because of his personality.
I'm saying I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Sekiro isn't ready to come up in that. Don't be Salvatore because that will ruin my chemistry with this team. So don't do Sal. Do not. And that was a David Stearns move, and Matt Arnold was there. I think they learned a lot from that trade, from that lesson. Because I almost feel like it's got to be the guy that's with the expiring contract. It would have been almost like Freddie last year, I kind of feel. So I don't know who that person might be a Garrett Mitchell if they do trade. Who knows? But I also feel way more confident in the clubhouse with the leader of Pat Murphy and the makeup of this team than maybe what we did. Hindsight's always 20/20. I get that. But you kind of look at it now and it's like, yeah, maybe that was one of the best moves in Brewers history with Craig Counsell leaving. Or David Stearns leaving. Or both leaving. Just to get a new set of eyes and vision in there. Because, gosh darn it, doesn't it feel like this franchise is in a lot better position than what they were in, was it 2026 now, and what they were in 2023, 2022?
Well, if the Brewers go and win over 100 wins, Pat Murphy could win the Manager of the Year for 3 years in a row. I mean, that's insane. And then you're competing again for a World Series. They haven't competed for a World Series probably since 2019?
2018.
2018?
They lost to the Dodgers in Game 7.
Because of Chris Taylor. Thank you.
Yep.
I mean, you're back to competing. That's the fun part. You know, the Bucks aren't going to compete. The Packers, they may compete, but not as close as the Brewers are to competing. So,
and everybody talks about, Brewers youth, but really look at it. Chirio's third year.
Yeah.
Yelich is a veteran. Contreras is a veteran. Tarang's in 4 years already service. Frelick's a veteran. So it's, yes, pitching, but Mizorowski's already pitched in some really big games.
Andrew Vaughn's been through it.
Woodruff's a veteran.
Yeah.
Kyle Harrison's okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But he's been in the major leagues for a couple of years. It's not like he's an rookie this year. So, I mean, they've got guys that have playoff experience. Cooper Pratt would be the one now on this current roster. You'd be, okay, he doesn't have any experience. But really, when you look at it, Cheerios know nothing but the playoffs. Sal Frelick and Bryce Strang have known nothing but the playoffs. Yelich has played in a lot of games. Contreras, they've got that taste. Yeah. They're not an inexperienced team when it comes to it. So you can't even say that about this team. Even I don't have any qualms anymore about Mizorowski pitching in big games.
Nope.
I know he's only 1 year into his career, but he has been in too many big moment games, and he has surpassed every test. Whether it's a Paul Skeens matchup, a Dodgers versus Kershaw, or what he just did this past Friday, he has done so many. He's accomplished so many check marks on that list. It's mind-boggling at this point. And then what he did in the playoffs last year coming out of the pen.
And the cool part is he's also doing it in the not hyped up games.
Yeah.
He's getting the job done when they need him to. And I think that's the cooler part, where some players will play better when the lights are brighter, but won't get it done when they need to. And Mizorowski's does it every single time.
He is the ace.
Yeah.
The ace where when it's their turn in rotation, and at that point on Friday night, they're coming off of a series loss to the Athletics.
Yeah.
What does he do? You call it a stopper. He stopped it.
Set the tone. And
that's what you want from your ace. Sure, he's going to have a game or two probably yet this season where it's not going to be great. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But right now we're at the point with Mizorowski where, last year when we were heading to the playoffs, what were we concerned about? Man, control, kind of wild. The dude didn't even throw 100 pitches in that complete game Friday. His control this year is, I don't know what happened in a year or a one-off season. But that dude figured it out, whether it was between him and Chris Hook or Contreras, part of that too. They figured that thing out.
I think at the beginning of the year he took some off his fastball because you were seeing 99 on the corner and he was hitting his spots. But as he's gotten better, his confidence has grown. And you saw his last pitch, 103, bottom of the zone, dotted. I mean, now he can spot 103, which is crazy. But do you think that the Cy Young season of Corbin Burns was better, or what Miz is doing this year?
Miz. I don't even need to look up Corbin Burns. Yeah. I just think what Miz is doing, and
just been more dominant.
That's it. I mean, you're throwing 103 flipping miles per hour in the ninth inning. Not as a closer, as the starting pitcher still.
95th pitch.
That's unreal. And you throw in a wicked slider. You throw in all... I running out of things to say, but I feel like now he's going to probably do something tomorrow that we're going to be talking about Monday morning again. It's like, can you believe now that he did this?
Probably.
And I know the easy thing is for Brewers fans to say, sign him now, sign him now. If I'm repping Miz, I'm saying don't sign.
But with the lockout,
yeah.
maybe you are.
I don't know.
But it'd have to be a Yelich contract.
It would have to be, you can't get away with a Freddie type of deal.
Yeah.
Or even, you probably can't even get away with a Jackson type of deal.
No. Nope.
It would have, you're right. If it's a Christian Yelich type of deal where it's $200-some million or $300 million, okay. Then you think about it.
I would take that if I'm Miz, though.
I probably would, too.
So.
The only question would be is, do you want it for 10 years or do you want it for 5 years and try to hit the market again?
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be the only other thing. But he is, just. I don't know about you, though, Zach, saying he said that him and his wife thought I looked like Jacob Mizrahi. I don't know about that. No, come on.
Maybe a little bit.
No.
Do you throw 103?
No.
Okay.
No. That's not a compliment either. So, no. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll back after these few words. Got about 20 minutes left to the top of the hour here. Oh, okay. I thought we had another thing about Giannis, but never mind. Just pure speculation. So that's whatever. I think the longer this goes to, is just going to be more crap thrown out there. The longer this goes, the more talk, the more speculation, the more questioning, the more like insiders trying to dig up stuff in that. So it's going to get worse the longer it goes at this point. But not really anything Green Bay wise, so it's pretty quiet, which I'm okay with. Don't draft Sorsby in the supplemental
you don't
draft.
Want Sorsby?
No, I don't want to deal with that drama. We got enough drama right now with Green Bay, kind of. Although that's been really quiet too with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, extremely quiet, which is good news.
That's what I was wondering. Now, I don't know if there's like a legal expert that could be listening right now, and you could be anonymous. I'd really like to know, the longer this goes and the more quiet it is that good for Josh Jacobs or is that bad for Josh Jacobs?
I would have to assume it's good.
I would think it's good, but then I don't know if that means it's bad because they continue to build the case against.
Maybe, but if they have enough evidence, wouldn't they have arrested him again?
That's what I'm wondering, or like brought charges or something. I don't know. And I don't want to pretend, but it feels like it's going on for a while here that it almost seems like it bodes well for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but maybe somebody else with better understanding of how that plays out can chime in and that. But that definitely changes things if he's exonerated and he's cleared of any wrongdoings. And because if he does miss time, this is, to me, a completely different ball club. And my expectations go down for Green Bay. They do. And you hate to say one player, especially if it's a non-quarterback, but they do.
Well,
there's no legit backup.
They have to find a backup. Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd's fine for a backup but behind Josh Jacobs, but he's not the guy.
But he's a backup, right? He's not a number one.
Mm-hmm. There's no way a team's going to draft Sorsby in the supplemental draft.
I think they will. He's a talented quarterback.
He's talented, but you're going to give up a pick in a future draft for him?
But if it's somebody like the Jets or the Browns or even the Cardinals, you're taking a swing on a guy that many scouts thought would be a number one draft, or not number one, but a first round draft pick next year. And you're getting that high end talent. Like, I personally wouldn't be opposed to the Packers giving a 7th or a 6th for him.
I want to know for sure, though, would he face a suspension in the NFL? So that's what I'm trying to find out. It says, although Sorsby is entering the draft, that doesn't guarantee that he'll be selected. He admittedly gambled more than $90,000. Despite those red flags, the NFL is a forgiving league, and most teams will generally be willing to take a risk on a player if that player can help them win. Sorsby is talented, blah, blah, blah. After Sorsby gets talented, the next question is, will he face an NFL suspension? Why he might not. It is unprecedented, so it's hard to say what the NFL will do, but the league might have given us a hint with how it handled the Patriots receiver who was involved in a similar gambling scandal during his time at LSU, didn't end up getting suspended. Butte. So, okay, he was drafted by the Patriots at 23. 9 months later, announced that allegations against him. He was arrested for allegedly placing more than 8,900 wagers while in college, including at least 6 involving LSU. Like Sorsby, he bet on his team. He made a lot of bets. He was underage when he made those bets, although he was charged with the crime. The state of Louisiana ended up dropping the charges. After that, the NFL decided not to punish him. So, all right.
Even if he's suspended, he's likely to start the year on the bench. So the suspension won't mean a lot this year. And so, again, I was listening to something yesterday, and one guy said that he thinks a team could give up a second-round pick for him.
That, to me, would be ridiculous.
But again, this is a quarterback.
But this is a supplemental draft. Nobody's gone that high, has what?
No, I think just
or was Bosworth? Where was highest sup? Because
Thompson was a 4th, I believe. The safety
for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So Bertie Kosar was a first rounder, 85. Bosworth was first. Steve Walsh. Okay, so there has been, but as of late, draft has changed quite a bit over the years.
Yeah.
So Sam Beal was a 3rd back in 18. That would be the high. Terrell Pryor was a 3rd. 2nd would be the highest since Tony Hollings in 2003. I forgot Mike Wall was a supplemental draft pick because he was suspended his senior season after testing positive for steroids. The former Packer offensive lineman. Oh man, we'll see.
In my opinion, I think Sorsby goes for at least a 3rd or higher. I think somebody's going to take a chance on him, and it's a very low risk, high reward.
I hope it's the
move.
Browns. I hope it's the Browns.
They would have everything in that quarterback room.
I hope it's them. I want it to be a team like that. Why not? Go back to you played ball in Cincinnati too, so you can go back to the state of Ohio.
That's true.
But Green Bay ain't doing it. I don't think they don't want the drama. That's going to be involved with it. When is the draft again?
I don't know.
Is it next week?
Well, he still has to get approved because he only applied on or before July 16th.
Okay. Mid to late. Okay, so we got some time.
You had to have an entry by the 22nd of June.
Is he the only one that entered?
I believe so, as of right now.
Okay. So essentially, if anybody doesn't know how it works, it's just kind of like a draft. It goes to the order. Teams will put in claims like whether they want to spend a future first round, a future second round, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. They'll go through it. Nobody put a claim in first round. Nobody claimed in second, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So,
yeah, he's the only player this year.
The only Hall of Famer was Chris Carter, round 4 of the supplemental draft. I'd say if he does, it's 5th or higher. 5th, 6th, or 7th.
I really think so.
I can't see a team doing a day 2 pick for him. I just, no. I can't. But it only takes one.
It's an interesting story for sure.
I'm with the whole betting thing, I'm just really curious how the NFL is going to approach this.
Yep.
And I think the NFL or the NCAA right now is like, phew.
Yeah. Yep.
Now it's the NFL's potential problem. Passing the buck. With the whole, betting and it would be collusion. I wouldn't be surprised if Roger Goodell's like saying nobody put a claim into him so we don't have to deal with this. It wouldn't, those back channel communications.
But at the same time, couldn't the NFL be like, well, he did it in college, so that's their problem?
That's where, there's that, but then, the NFL did suspend Terrell Pryor for doing stuff in college. So it's unprecedented.
Never had this before. Or no, we have, obviously.
If he gets drafted and then he gets suspended, you know what's going to happen. It'll go to court again. It will. Or maybe they just say, depending on how long. If it's like a couple games, like he was going to miss originally, they may just say, okay, cool, whatever. Let's move on. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. All right, we got to take a break, and then we got picks to wrap up this Thursday morning. We'll be right back after these quick words. All right, let's end these shenanigans, these Thursday shenanigans, with some picks. Do you want to do a U.S. Open pick, too?
Sure.
Might as well. U.S. Open, golf, U.S. Open going on right now. If you forgot about it, you're not the only one. So, let's start off with there. I'll make it non-dramatic. Scotty Scheffler.
That's who I was going to go
with,
too.
So let's go Scotty Scheffler for the pick. Because, I feel bad because this should have been pumped up more. And I don't know if it's World Cup and everything else going on, if it just kind of fell on the back burner. But I feel like from a national perspective, it hasn't gotten a lot. Now, nothing will ever match the Masters. But U.S. Open, man, come on. Got PGA, I get. Nobody really cares, But U.S. Open, come on. All right, baseball games, not a lot because it's getaway day for some teams. But we've got Toronto taking on Boston.
I'll go the Blue Jays.
Oh, Blue Jays too. Let's do Minnesota versus Texas. Hey, Joe Ryan.
Give me Minnesota.
I'm gonna go with the Twinnies too. Baltimore and Seattle. Seattle. We got Mets and Phillies. I'll go Phillies. White Sox, Yankees. The fact that we're still pausing on this one tells you just how good the White Sox are.
I'll go White Sox.
I'll go White Sox for today. Let's go Giants, Braves. Cardinals, Royals.
Cardinals.
Angels, Athletics. And then Cleveland, Milwaukee. The Bob Uecker series. If you know the Major League Series movie. So,
I think the Guardians are going to win.
I'm going to go Guardians too. I mean, Parker hasn't been bad for Cleveland this year. When you look at it, he's 6-3. He's got a 2.68 ERA. I got a feeling it's going to be one of those lineups too for the Brewers where you get some off days. Although they did that Sunday against Sanchez, it still won.
Blake Perkins.
So, yeah. But I'm going to go Cleveland getting the win today. So, and then they'll be ready to go for the series against the
Braves.
Atlanta Braves. All right. So again, 1:10 first pitch. You can listen to the game on your radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior. So if you do your math, that should be around 12:35 today. So another day, or I should say another morning, and really nothing yet on Giannis, and I don't think we'll get anything anytime soon unless somebody comes in and just really skyrockets their offer. But man, it seems like this thing's going to drag on even more. Could you see a possibility where, okay, let's just use the Heat as the example. They don't get a deal done, but there's kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, but draft this guy at 13 because that's the guy we want. And then they keep talking and negotiating until July.
Absolutely. I think if the Heat want something done, the Bucks will tell them who they would draft in that scenario, and the Heat can choose to draft him if they want Giannis or choose to go in a different direction. I also think, though, for the Heat, like, if they don't get Giannis, they could pivot to Kawhi and trade that pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to kind of figure things out too here soon, because, again, the draft Tuesday kind of came up quick. But, yeah, I think if they're going to get Giannis and they think a deal is close, the Bucks will just tell them who to draft.
Yeah, I kind of feel there's going to be like the thing is, I think teams know what other teams are going to do when it comes to the draft, or they at least have a really good idea.
Yeah.
More so than what we do, obviously. But I think, there's Heat probably have a really good idea who the Bucks would target at 13. And they might just still draft that person, regardless if it was somebody they were going to draft, and, just to kind of keep things going. So, and it's not, remember, they traded Dame. Portland traded Dame right before the season, preseason started and that. So, there is that possibility. But I think we keep saying the draft because this draft is, from all the experts, a very loaded draft. And that's why I think we're so hyper-focused on we want it done before the draft because we want those picks. Now, we could still get those picks. It's just we would not have our GM, the Bucks GM, would not have made those selections. Yeah. And I think the GM would like to make those picks, but
like you said, maybe we shouldn't have the Bucks GM do it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have somebody else make those picks. And that would just have to be John Horst. That'd be like, yeah, okay, that's a good player, and trust it to work out that way. I don't know. All right, Shot Clock's going to cut us off in about a minute. So tomorrow, Brandon Berg will be with us. We'll do some local sports roundup as state baseball. We'll wrap up today. I know we got Rice Lake girls soccer at state, so we'll do that. The Express, they're on the road tonight, taking on Duluth, but they'll be back tomorrow at Carson Park against Duluth. And then this weekend, Father's Day weekend, they'll be taking on Wilmer. So if you want to take Dad to a ball game on Sunday, they'll be at Carson Park taking on the Wilmer Stingers. We'll chat with Dr. Crow tomorrow. I might ask him about that Tariq Skubal injury and the new procedure, and just kind of get his thoughts on that too. So, so we'll hopefully chat up with Dr. Crow, and then maybe we're talking about a series sweep, but we'll definitely be previewing this upcoming Brave series. Should be a fun one with Jacob Mizorowski slated to get the start tomorrow. Kyle Harrison's also going to get a start in this series. So hopefully it lives up to its billing, but hopefully it'll be a series where the Brewers can come away with at least a series win against perhaps baseball's best team. Have a good rest of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Talk to you.